Thank you, Jim. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. The bulk of the responsibility on what happens on our roads is with my colleague at the Ministry of Transport. Our responsibility basically is through the police department and managing the traffic police. I want to make about 2 points really. One, obviously we can't continue with the kind of madness we are seeing on our roads. That's number one. This cannot continue. But secondly, something else that I think we should not continue with is the endless year in, year out story about how we are managing ourselves on the roads. I have old enough to have lived through seeing former Minister Michuki, then CS Kamau, then now my colleague James Masharia, and my late colleague Jano Kaiseri talking about the kind of madness with which we manage this thing. From my point of view and from our view is it's time for us to act firm and decisively. It's not going to be a story. Number one, we are reviewing the entire of the traffic police department. The process is going on right now. I have proposed again this morning, because you understand, under the law, the police operate under the National Police Service Commission. So we have to make proposals to them as a ministry. Our proposals to them as a Ministry of Interior is that we have a total review of the traffic police department. But as we do that, I need to inform the public that we're equally frustrated by the fact that the ongoing review of the police identified 127 traffic police officers who were kicked out, and they all went to court and arrived promptly with court orders to continue doing what they are doing on our roads. So I'm calling upon all of us to do our part. Even our colleagues in the judiciary need to understand they live in this country. They live in this country. We cannot ask police officers to leave. We cannot have police officers being disciplined from the weighbridge or wherever it is they are taking bribes, and they arrive in court and promptly come with court orders. So that now you have no option. I mean, we have seen very bizarre cases of judicial officers even prescribing where officers should be returned to. You get an order that prescribes that reinstate that officer in a particular place. And yet, we are removing that police officer from that place because we know they are a Shylock, they are doing all manner of crazy things at the stations they have been asked to do their work. So we will look for other ways of dealing with these issues. We will review the traffic police department. We have agreed with our colleagues at the National Police Service, the DIGs here. We all appreciate it's something we need to do. Our colleagues at the headquarters may be working very hard, but they are let down by certain officers in the field. When they act on the officers in the field, as I said, they proceed to court and arrive with court orders. 127 police officers who actually ought not to be in the traffic department are working there because they arrived with court orders that said they should continue working there, as it were. So who is serving whose interest at this particular point? We all need to work together on this matter. We cannot continue this situation where, every time we are coming now, we are forced, there's an outcry in the country, they're asking, the public is asking, where is the Minister for Transport? Where is the Minister for Interior? Which country have you ever seen on earth where a minister is on the road stopping vehicles? We all have to do our work. And then the issue is that everybody has to do our work. Second, because we have a somewhat shared responsibility, I have proposed to my colleague this morning, and we are jointly agreed, and NTSA is here, we have to be firm on driving schools in the country. My proposal is this, and as we had discussed earlier before we came to this meeting, we basically deregister all of them and re-register them afresh so that we know who actually is qualified to run a driving school. Because we are giving driving licenses to murderers, as it were. And then people who have no clue. Secondly, how is it that we don't review even the health of some of these people who have the driving licenses every year? In civilized environments, you could have some problems with your eyes next year. This year you are fine, but next year you have a problem with your eyes. So you are partially blind, we give you a license today, and you stay with it forever. Even when you become blind, you become mentally unstable, you continue driving. So my view is, and we have agreed, NTSA, good people, we just have to re-register the driving schools in the country afresh. NTSA will provide a criteria alongside this process. And we asked this morning our two PSs, the PS in charge of Panamaringa from Transport and my PS, Dr. Kibicho. In 7 days' time, they will put together a team that will prescribe the regulations and the conditions that you will have to fulfill before you are re-registered as a driving school. And then from there we begin the process and make relevance to what my colleague Jim has said. We are going to get a new driving license, you must arrive having fulfilled certain conditions, and including a medical condition, so that we are fine, we know who we are actually allowing to drive on our roads. We have to be serious about this thing. It can't be, you know, every time we are talking about this thing and so on. We are going to sit back, and I will defer to the advice of my colleagues at the Interior, especially the Inspector General of Police, because these are his men. But we'll have to discuss this thing about how we're going to carry on with the Traffic Police Department. The review will include what do we do with these good people whom we send out, and they promptly arrive tomorrow with court orders. And we will have a conversation with the judiciary about this issue. Because they drive on these roads, these judges and magistrates, they can very easily be killed themselves by these same people, you know, who are moving around, whom they have allowed to drive, just because they're telling us about rights and so on. When decisions are taken by the Police Service Commission, for example, they should be respected. Some of these entities are acting in good faith, and they're acting in defense of our people and in defense of our lives. My simple message is we will do our part, and we are not going to tell a story another day. Safari, we have to do work that will be seen that it has been done. That is the message I have given myself to my colleagues in the Traffic Police Department. I want to count how many fellows are been fired, how many we have locked in. That is the story that we should tell the public. And then secondly, we have to look at very basic things like the driving schools and so on. They have to be registered afresh, the whole lot of them, because we can't continue this way.